Might hear a lot of throat clearing in this episode. Just heads up.
Yeah, that's fine. Me too. It's really hard to get 10 seconds of silence. You keep talking, though.
I didn't know you were doing that this whole time. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You said you were ready.
Usually you're like, all right, 10 seconds of silence starts now. And then you just didn't say anything.
Starts now.
It's caught! No, by Brown inside the 20, and he's in for the touchdown off the ricochet.
Now throw out of it.
Connor Barth kicking it off. Bobby Rainey on the return. Across the 20, tripped up, falls forward to the 24. He got up and keeps running, and there's been no whistle on the play. Rainey stops and goes into the end zone.
Running against that.
Watson to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, DeAndre Hopkins.
His sixth of the season. And for the fourth straight game, the Texans have scored at least 30 points.
Mariota after the pick to Henry. Steps into a deep throw. Has a man open. Caught! Taywan Taylor. A touchdown for the Titans. Henry. Yeah. Henry. Game over. Henry. Oh, Henry. Will he score or will he go down? He's going to score. Take it to the house. Touchdown, Tennessee. 72 yards.
All right, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the world famous A Pod with No Name.
That's how they said it.
Yeah.
We did it.
My name is Dylan. With me, as usual, are my co-hosts Tom and Bryan. What's up, guys?
Hey. So we're back from our little hiatus.
That is true. That is true. We are coming off of week 6. Is there anything that stood out to you guys primarily from week 6? I know there was a lot that happened.
Nope, next topic.
All right.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. There was some good this week. Obviously, Monday night was a huge lift to my well-being, to my person, if you will. Finally breaking the streak against the Colts was pretty nice. Other than that, we had some terrific games that went on. Steelers and Chiefs comes to mind as one of the ones that was pretty good. Ravens and Bears was actually surprisingly pretty close and back and forth. Some good special teams play in that one.
Yeah.
Those are the couple of ones that stand out to me.
Yeah, the Steelers and Chiefs one, especially the Steelers being on the road, to get a win against the undefeated Chiefs was very surprising and shows a lot of improvement on the Steelers offense.
Held them to 9 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely a lot of good games this weekend. On the Thursday night one, going to the Panthers and Eagles. That one was also pretty good. The result wasn't the one that I wanted, but I think both teams looked good on both sides. Cam obviously struggled there towards the end, but overall, I think we got a good show from both of those teams.
Yeah, sometimes it's when you have two really high caliber teams like that, and they're right in front and back of each other. One guy just turns around and hits the other guy right in the face, and that's just one of the things about the NFL. You never know who's going to come out and win. I think both teams are probably going to still end up in the play towards the end of the season.
Yeah, this week's games had a lot of shakeups, especially with our fantasy matchups. Left a lot of teams. I want to say 4, maybe 5 teams that are 2-4 in our league.
Yeah,
It's pretty much anyone's. I won't say at least 3 or 4, but leaves a lot of questions of who's going to be able to catch a streak here and secure those 5 and 6 spots in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's that way every single year. There's always those teams at the end that are all fighting, for that last win and then have to get in on points. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, there's more 5-1 teams that I would like, but oh well.
Yeah, you can't. It's one of those things where you can't control it, but in general, based on previous seasons, the teams that start off extremely hot tend to level off. So it's going to everybody's going to be muddy in that puddle of mud, rather. In the end of the season, week 12 and 13, and it's going to be a fight to the finish.
Yeah, it's gonna be handcuff season here soon. So usually when a bulk of the injuries start to take off.
Ryan's forte, handcuffs.
But
I was also surprised. I didn't mention it. The Giants came out and beat the Broncos.
That was immensely surprising.
oh yeah,
I don't think anyone predicted that.
no,
Yes, having most of their weapons, and they didn't have their top 3 receivers, and they came out and absolutely smacked Denver in the face.
yeah, one of the best secondaries in the league.
Yeah, and hopefully that's a thing or a sign of things to come for the Giants. Maybe they turn around, run the table, make the playoffs.
Yeah, and Broncos also. Damaris is somewhat banged up. Simeon's banged up. And Sanders, I believe, is out this week.
He's gonna be out for a couple of weeks. I think.
So,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's looking,
I don't know what it is, but something about losing players to injury or making some coaching changes when teams have their backs against the wall. That's when you really see that bring the best out of them. You see them start to win, actually. Like, for example, with the Giants, they lost majority of their playmakers and they ended up winning on the road against one of the best secondaries in the league. I bet no one saw that coming.
I think the perfect example is when Calvin Johnson went down for the Lions. Stafford started passing the ball to everybody instead of focus on that one guy, and they just improved dramatically.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's one of, you spend so much time trying to focus an offense or a scheme around certain players, and when those people aren't around, it forces you almost go back to basics in a way, and you have to start playing football the way that you've been playing it for your entire life, rather than, hey, we have to absolutely feed Odell or feed Brandon Marshall.
Yeah.
So hopefully it continues on for them. That would be ideal in their situation. I don't know if the damage has already been done because they're 1-5 now.
I believe so.
Yeah. I don't see them making the playoffs, but I do see them starting to rack up some wins here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But you know what it's time for, guys?
What's the time for?
It is time for my Dookies of the week. And leading off the list, Brian, this guy's on your team.
What?
That's right. Michael Thomas, man. What happened?
Don't get me started on Michael Thomas right now. I'm going to hijack this segment.
Michael Thomas, 3 receptions for 11 yards.
Yeah, I was dumbfounded.
They scored 52 points, and Michael Thomas has 4. He had in standard leagues, he had 1.1 points.
Yeah, if you would have told me that the Saints were going to score 52 points, I would have been like, yeah, absolutely, play Michael Thomas in every league ever.
Nope.
I said that exact same, man.
I mean, Drew Brees didn't even do that well either. He only got 12 points.
Well, to be fair, their defense did do a majority of the talking. I think they had 3 defensive TDs.
They ran it 50 times between Kamara and Ingram.
Oh yeah, they had 3 rushing TDs, didn't they?
Yeah.
Between the 2 of them. No, go figure.
Trading Adrian Peterson gave them a sense of identity on that offense. They're just going to start running the ball like crazy now.
Yeah, forget Drew Brees, am I right?
Yeah, we don't need Drew Brees. Next person on my list is on my team with Chris Hogan. I'm not really able to explain what happened here. He was in a plus matchup against the Jets. He only got 4 targets for 1 reception, 19 yards. I know he took a pretty big hit in the second half, but he was still on the field playing. But I think that might have had somewhat of a factor into it. But I just don't get it. It ended his streak at 4 games with a touchdown in every game. But I look for him to, if he's not still nursing that injury that he took from the Jets, I look for him to rebound against the Falcons this Sunday night. But
that's a good one to watch.
Oh yeah.
Super Bowl rematches are always intense. But unfortunately for me, he dropped a dookie on me.
There's just so many weapons in New England. It's hard to consistently be a top player.
Yeah. Definitely. The next, actually, the leading the pack here isn't so much a dookie of the week. It's more a dookie of fantasy so far. And so far, the biggest disappointment to me has been Amari Cooper. Would you guys agree?
Been talking about it all week.
He just keeps dropping the ball.
He can't. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on. He's healthy. Derek Carr's just not throwing to him. The targets aren't there. I mean, he got 7 points last week, which was not dookie worthy, I would say, but still, from a wide receiver 1 on a team, I would expect more numbers than that. And a crazy stat of the day on Amari Cooper, he's not even in the top 100 PPR scoring in fantasy right now.
Yes.
That's insane. Terrell Pryor has more points than Amari Cooper.
Bro, who?
Never heard of him, actually. Yeah.
Exactly. That's my point. Yeah, he's been dropping a dookie every single week. I don't get it. But Derek Carr, he seems to like Michael Crabtree better. And I think that's been the case for the past few years. But Amari Cooper has, before every draft season, he's been ranked inside the top 15 to 20 every year. So, but he's definitely not putting up those numbers. So, Ryan, I feel bad for you. But yeah, there you have it. Those are my dookies of the week.
I like it. I mean, Cooper he's in the top 10 when it comes to drop passes. He has 3 on the year, which is tied with a whole lot of people. Odell was leading the league before he got hurt. Still is leading the league, but his numbers won't be declining, but he leads the league with 4. And then Marquise Lee is the next receiver, also with 4. And then Amendola and Cooper and Brashard Perriman. Those guys all have 3. So, I mean,
yeah,
terrible numbers, but still, I mean, if you're an elite receiver like that, you need to be able to get open.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's a startable option at this point right now. I wouldn't feel comfortable starting him.
Well, that can transition into my segment of matchups of the week. I'm going to start with Ryan versus Josh. I actually feel that Cooper and Carr are going to get it done this week. I don't. There's just something telling me that they're going to control the ball. Cooper's going to fix his problems. He never was known for dropping balls. He's always been known for his hands. And I think this week he's going to get in the end zone and do well against the Chiefs. That's just a gut feeling. That being said, Mike Evans has Jameis Winston with a bum shoulder against a tough Buffalo defense. It's hard to see him doing too much, but it's Mike Evans. I think he'll still get double-digit numbers. Landry has a plus matchup. Kamara, we've talked about, is getting more involved with Peterson gone. But I'm still going to have to go with Josh on this. He's winning these games. He's got Kirk Cousins against Philly, one of the worst pass defenses out there. Antonio Brown is amazing. He always gets it done. Brandon Cooks against Atlanta, that's going to be fireworks. The Cowboys are going to control the clock. Elliott's going to run through San Francisco. The only ones I have question on Josh's team are James White, if he's going to be really involved. He was in the Super Bowl. But I just like his matchup, or all the players on his team's matchups better. I think Josh is going to get it done. Next on the list is Jordan.
Has Ryan even set his lineup yet?
No, he needs to. That's what I was going to say. To get them. Chad versus Dan. I'm going to shorten it up a little bit. Jordy Nelson without Aaron Rodgers, who knows? Jordy's talented, but he's been relying on touchdowns this year, and I don't see him getting in the end zone with the backup. Jackson, same problem with Evans, but once it's going to be Dinkin and Duncan, he's not going to be going down the field. Jackson's going to be irrelevant this week, but that makes Doug Martin more valuable. Normally, I don't like to have receiver running back on the same team in my lineup, but Kareem Hunt, I'm sure he'll go off. I think Oakland's in the 20s on rush defense. He'll do well. Henry against Denver. I think the receivers are going to get shut down, so Henry might be a good sneaky play. And Thompson. I'm seeing Chad win this week. I like Tom Brady and your running backs, Dan, but Diggs is unhealthy. John Brown gets hurt a lot. He's not shown much still. I do like Evan Ingram, but I'm picking Chad to win this one. We'll go to Josh Durham and I hate to give predictions, but Alex Smith tonight, I think it's going to be a shootout. I think he's going to get good points. Thomas is going to have a rebound. I see him being a wide receiver one the rest of the year. Doug Baldwin against the Giants. I don't know. Maybe the Giants are phenomenal now. We'll see what happens. Freeman, New England, another fireworks coming. Urge against Washington. Again, bad pass defense. Thomas with Sanders out could get a lot of looks, but he's injured. We'll see. I'm predicting Josh to win this one, honestly. I think Joe Mixon gets it done this week against a terrible Pittsburgh defense, run defense. C.J. Anderson's going up against one of the worst run defenses. And with the passing game probably going to be held on check, even though they've been hot at the beginning of the year. I think Anderson's going to get a heavy workload. They did say Jamal Charles is going to get more involved, but we'll see if that starts now. Then Gronk, always amazing. Russell Wilson against the Giants. Poor defense, I guess, but we'll see. I'm going to go with Josh. I already said that. So I like his runners this week. Difficulties. Then we'll go to Chris and Kyle.
Oh, man.
I'm just not going to call Kyle. Adams is out, Bree sucks, all that blah, blah, blah. I do like Gurley against Arizona. I think he's just playing on another level right now. Darkwood versus Seattle, that's a tough matchup, but Darkwood got it done last week. Green's looking good now with Dalton, but against Pittsburgh's pass defense, we'll see. It's mostly – I think Cooper's going to get more involved this week, so Crabtree will be held in check probably. In my opinion, he's been hot. T.Y.'s going against the best pass defense out there with Ramsey and I think Bouye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard one.
Yeah, with Gibson and Church and the rest of that secondary.
I think if the Colts are smart, they're going to be running the ball a lot more, getting Mack involved. So we'll see. Hilton's been a home run, or he's been very quiet. Caffrey has a good matchup against Chicago, and Ingram, same. I'm going to go with Chris on this one.
I hope so.
Aguilar against this Washington defense as well. So
this matchup is going to come back in just a little bit because I talked to Dylan, was that yesterday or today or a couple of days ago with my bold prediction for the remainder of the season.
I think it was yesterday.
It was yesterday. Okay, so yeah, I have a bold prediction in regards to one of these teams.
Nice.
So stay tuned for that one.
the matchup of the week is Tom versus Dilly.
What's good?
0.02.
There's so many different variables that make a difference here. 0.02. But you have Kelvin Benjamin in there, and he's looking banged up right now. He might not play. And if he doesn't play,
I have Funchess.
Exactly. Funchess is going to get a huge boost. I still like Funchess, though, even if Kelvin plays, just because he's just going to be going down the field just to draw coverage, and I think Funchess does well with McCaffrey as well. Prescott, I like him as a real quarterback, but this week I think they're going to be managing the clock, and he's not going to get all the fancy points you need. I think he'll still get He has a decent floor, kind of like Alex Smith. They always get you something, but I don't see him going off. On the other hand, Carson Wentz has Washington with probably no Josh Norman. They said he's back there, but he's not even started running yet. He's back on the field. I would like to think he's probably not going to play, and I think that's a huge boost for Wentz and Jeffrey combination. Rashard Matthews was a nice trade for. Cleveland has been shut down the number one receiver lately. They did to Hopkins last week. I know he scored, but he only had, I think, 4 catches.
Ooh, McCourty Matthews. Good matchup.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what I see out of that. He's always can make big plays. Hogan, like you were talking about, was quiet last week. He's kind of banged up. But for them to beat Atlanta, they're going to have to be throwing the ball. And I think Hogan's going to benefit from that. Then we go down to the running backs. I like McCoy against Tampa Bay. They're terrible pass defense. And McCoy gets a lot of looks his way. I think it's going to be ran through him and Tyrod Taylor. They don't have a lot of options right now. Charles Clay going down. Jordan Matthews is out. But I like McCoy a lot. Howard had an amazing week last week. And I think they're going to try to continue that against Carolina, and I think he'll have a decent day. Bell's looking like the old Bell going against Cincinnati. I think he's going to be phenomenal. The 2 weak points, one weak point for each of you. Fournette, I think he's more hurt than he's leading us to believe. And Chris Ivory looked good last week. And Indiana's just they don't have defense. So I think they're going to get Chris Ivory more involved, and that might be a setback for Fournette. And on Tom's side with Ty Montgomery, I said it's a bad thing for your team, or I was meaning to. But I think that to beat New Orleans with this team, I think they're going to run the ball through Montgomery a lot more this week. I think he's back on track. He's looking good in practice, and I think the fact that you have these running backs along with Kelsey tonight, I like Kelsey in this matchup. Those running backs with Bunches healthy compared to Benjamin and Fournette being hurt, Hogan being hurt. I like the overall of your team, Tom. I'm choosing you to win, even though I do like
shocking.
I hate that. So, but I mean, there's just too many what ifs on your team. I like Jeffrey, Wentz, and Bell. So if you can get a couple guys, if you can get like Hogan and Fournette, Rudolph to get like close to 10 points, I think the rest of the guys will carry you. But I just like the ceiling for Tom's team this week. So I'm thinking.
Yeah, I agree. He'll probably win.
You are projected to win 59%.
Yeah, I agree. Dylan's probably going to take this one.
No, I think I'm going to get creamed, actually.
Actually, you don't suck nearly as bad as I do. So,
if I score 160, you're going to score 161.
That's fine. I mean, we've been there before. Point out too. It's our matchups always come down to something really crazy. I don't think either one of us has ever blown the other one out.
No, I don't think so.
It's always close. So we'll see. The battle of the commissions, if you will.
Commishies.
Twinsies.
All right, bold predictions times. Da-da-da-da-da.
All right.
We got to save Tom for last.
Okay.
What about Tic Tac Tom?
Yeah, just skip my segment, whatever.
Okay, go ahead. That's what I meant.
Unbelievable.
I can't believe this kid. Anyway, so bold predictions. Tic Tac Tom this week. 3 things to look forward to. Once again, we're taking a little bit of a look into the future. Not quite as drastic as last week with the changes and whatnot. A couple of things I wanted to look at. Something that's a little bit more current is the Ezekiel Elliott situation. Once again, he's been granted a temporary restraining order. So he gets to play for the next 2 weeks for sure. The judge that's actually hearing the case is on vacation, which it's ridiculous. I've been saying it all week to people that I've been talking to about the situation. I fully expect Zeke to play the rest of the year. Despite how many times they've gone back and forth with the suspension and him getting restraining orders put on the league, I do not foresee a situation where he doesn't play the whole year. It's they're going to fight to get him through this season tooth and nail and continue to go to different courts and all this crap. It's going to last until probably, I don't know, April or May of next year until we hear the end of it. Pretty similar timeline to the Brady thing. But I mean, I think Dallas has known this entire time that they can get a full season, or else they would have just taken the suspension early. I don't know. It's just it's the most drawn out thing in the entire league that I don't see him sitting. I really don't. And if he does, since it's been drug out to this point, we're getting very close to him missing the most important part of fantasy season. Yep. So this was any Zeke owner's worst nightmare when it comes to how things have kind of progressed. Because if he misses his 6 games from week 11 to the end of the season, say goodbye to your RB1 for the playoffs if you make the playoffs in the first place.
Yep.
So interesting situation. Like I said, I think he plays all year, but if not, it's going to be more disastrous than if he just would have taken it at the beginning. Moving on to number 2. Yeah, staying in Dallas. Actually, the draft next year is going to be in Dallas. So
nice.
So it's going to be held at Jerry World, which is going to be pretty cool. Probably the first time they've had it at an actual stadium in the history of the league. I know they've had it outside at Chicago, like outside in front of Soldier Field. But I think it's actually being held inside Jerry World. So that's going to be pretty cool. The fans for the Cowboys last year were pretty raucous when like the Eagles announced their picks or the Giants announced their picks. So having that home field advantage, I guess, in the draft, we'll see if that, if that affects anything. But I look forward to what the Dallas crowd can bring to the draft. They'll have probably a pick in the 20s, so we'll have to wait a while to hear their reaction.
I'm already ready for this season to be over so we can get to the draft.
I know there's so many prospects, and we'll probably actually have an entire episode dedicated to the prospects before the season ends. But I don't know, when you get halfway through the season, you start seeing all the Heisman hype and everything like that. It's extremely difficult not to look forward to who's coming out. There's a handful of really good quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon Barkley is going to be an absolute freak depending on where he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin Ridley from Alabama, Christian Kirk from Texas A&M. There's tons of wide receivers. So I'm pretty excited to see how that all shakes out moving, into next season. And lastly, probably the most, maybe other than Zeke, maybe the most uncertain situation in the league. Teddy Bridgewater came back to practice. So he's back on the field for the Vikings. Excuse me. He is going to begin extremely long recovery process to getting back into football shape. There's a very small percentage chance he plays this year. I would almost be willing to bet that he's not going to see the field just because of the, where we are in the season. Maybe if it's an emergency type thing where, they lose Bradford and Keenum for the year and they absolutely have to have somebody. But so I'm actually really excited to see Bridgewater come back next year. I liked watching him play. He's extremely dynamic, and I think him and Dalvin Cook together, when Cook comes back, is going to be an extremely it's going to be a really good combo. It's going to open up their offense to so many new things because you can't run the zone read with or not the zone. You can't read the read option with Bradford. I mean, you can, but you're not going to get as much done. But yeah, so seeing Teddy come back is going to be cool. On the other hand, somebody who was about to come back, who is probably, I'd be willing to bet, also not going to play this year, is Andrew Luck. Had soreness in the shoulder. I don't know why the Colts aren't listening to me and every other person that I talked to about the situation, but just shut him down already. Quit trying to rush him back. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen this year. You're risking his career in order to get him back for a season that is probably not going to happen for you. The way the South is shaping up, It's going to be a race to the very end between Tennessee, Houston, and Jacksonville. Indy does not have the infrastructure to compete without Luck. So just bite the bullet, get the high draft pick, trade Brissett in the offseason, rebuild the offensive line, just stop.
Yeah. And even if he is able to come back, it'll probably be too late to even be worth it.
Yeah, we're looking at I've heard that since the cortisone shot, they're looking at an additional 2 to 3 weeks of no throwing. And he's only been throwing for 1 week since he came back from surgery. It's not going to happen. He's not going to play. I don't know why the Colts just don't go ahead and put him on IR, get somebody on the roster, get him some experience, because they're wasting that spot on a guy who's not going to play this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand that Colts fans want to see him play. As a Titans fan, I want to see the South be as competitive as it can be. So I want to see him back healthy. As much as I hate to say it, but it makes the division better, and it makes the AFC stronger too when you have a healthy Andrew Luck. The Colts are very exciting to watch when they are, back to their old high-octane selves. And, yeah, it's not worth risking his career to try to bring him back for a season that's almost lost. So, but, yeah, a little bit of a somber tic-tac-tom this week.
Nice.
Ending with,
it was solid.
But yeah, it's I don't know, some things to look forward to, gents. And
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
I know you're really excited because Bridgewater's good, and
the scheme of the Vikings right now, like Jared McKinnon was a nobody. He could never get playing time, and he's been going on these last 2 weeks. You get somebody talented as Dalvin Cook back next year with this, and Teddy Diggs and Thielen. Oh my gosh,
they need to get Treadwell on track.
If they can all stay healthy for next year, Treadwell.
Just use them. That's all I got to do.
Yeah, the Vikings have a lot of really good pieces. So if they have the best corner in the league, they have one of the best defenses. I
think the only issue, the biggest issue that stands out to me is the offensive line.
Yeah, it could use some work, but there's 3 good offensive lines in the league. So it's hard to build it, and it takes patience. And it takes a lot of time. Mm-hmm. The best O lines in the league were built over a course of 2, 3, 4 years through the draft,
and they stay healthy.
And they stay healthy. That's the biggest. Yeah. Whoa. See what happens when you're not with us?
She's done. He wouldn't.
Sorry, man. Just out of sync, I guess.
I guess so. You didn't even get my Panthers reference earlier with the guy getting punched in the mouth.
I did not. No.
Jesus.
Speaking of Panthers, they're going to lose this week.
I would not be surprised.
All right. Bold prediction time.
Go ahead, Billy Bear.
All right. My bold prediction of the week is going to be from your team, Tom.
Oh, Jesus.
I predict that Derrick Henry will finish top 5 in fantasy scoring this week.
Yeah.
With Murray, looks like he's hurt with a hamstring. I think that just happened today, I want to say.
Oh, that changes things for me if it happened today.
Well, he was.
I guess I should say I didn't hear about it till today. I don't know how long it's been going on.
It's been a recurring thing for a while, but he had some tightness on Monday, and then he missed practice Tuesday. They had a light walkthrough on Wednesday where he didn't do anything, and then they actually padded up today, and he didn't practice. So the word going around Nashville is that they might sit DeMarco with the bye week coming, and that Henry will get the load this week. So I fully agree with your prediction, because I think Henry, this is his time to bring the hammer down, if you will.
To take over. And even if Murray does play, like you told me earlier that that Malarkey said he was going to give Henry more fourth quarter carries.
Yeah.
And on top of Murray's injury, he's going to get even more carries throughout the game. So he's going to have plenty of opportunities against a Cleveland defense that has done above average against the run, but I still view it as a plus matchup for Derrick Henry. So, yeah, I predict that Henry will finish top 5 in scoring this week.
I like it. Yeah, that's I don't know what you saw on Monday in terms of carry division when it comes to Murray and Henry is exactly how they want it to be the rest of the season.
Top 5 in running back scoring, not in every position.
It's not my prediction, but Delaney Walker, I feel, is going to be the benefactor in this matchup. I think he's going to be top 5 tight end. That was what I was thinking going in. I didn't realize they were thinking about sitting Murray.
Well, it's nothing official from the coaches, but that is what most of the writers are saying. It would be a good opportunity for him to give Murray 2 weeks off and get him right for the end of the year.
Okay, well, I almost consider my bold prediction being, I'm not just saying this, Cleveland upsetting the Titans, but I cannot pull the trigger on it. There's my gut's saying it's going to be a closer game than people think. That's not what I'm talking about. I think that the Colts are going to upset the Jaguars this week.
Oh.
I just had a feeling that Blake Bortles is going to make a couple of errors. Vontae Davis and everyone else, I don't know who, they're going to make a play. And I think with Turbin going down was a huge deal for the Colts because they're going to have to use Mac more.
Yeah, which is really weird to say because they need to be using Mac.
Chuck Pagano, I think is his name.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he's doing. And if he doesn't play Mac this week, who I think is going to go off and be a top 10 running back this week, if he doesn't use him this week, he needs to be fired on the spot. If he doesn't get in, it's the fourth quarter and he's 2 carries again, get him out of there.
I predict Chuck Pagano will be fired after this week.
I think between the 2 running backs and Jack Doyle being used in the middle, they're going to, like, the receivers, T.Y. can always make a big play for you, but they're going to be having a rough day. But between the running backs and Jack Doyle, I think the Colts are going to get done. Brissett's been decent. He's been streamable in fantasy. He can run the ball here and there. He's not making a lot of bad plays. He's controlling the huddle. I think they're going to get it done. I think Jacksonville's going to choke more so than the Colts getting it done. That's my prediction this week.
I think his Brissett's only fallback is that he's not comfortable with the offense yet. He doesn't know it by heart. He still wears the little playbook on his sleeve.
Yeah,
that's not the most comfortable thing in the world for quarterbacks.
I think it'd be a huge week for him if he wasn't going against Jacksonville. Moncrief looked good last week. It feels like he's getting control of it, but this is just a really hard pass defense for him matchup. So I still think they're going to get home. It's going to be a close game, but especially if Fournette's hurt, they're not going to be able to just try to run the clock. I don't trust Chris Ivory run the ball without fumbling. He just seems to fumble a lot, so we'll see. But I think the Colts win. I don't know.
Yeah, they're gonna have to get it done on the ground. But I don't know. Like I said earlier, Brissett he's doing an okay job, and he's gonna make somebody very happy next year. Somebody who's looking for a quarterback because he's still young. And he has a lot of talent. We've seen it in New England, and he's proven it in Indy with a much less of an impressive team around him. So
with them getting rid of him, I feel like Garoppolo is going to be the starter next year, possibly.
Yeah,
I don't think Brady's going to hold up.
It's possible. He's getting old.
Yeah,
he's getting old. But it's going to be the Garoppolo show sooner or later in New England. But if Brissett ends up in New York or even Jacksonville, that'd be an interesting situation.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Let's see what happens.
I could see him on the Vikings too if Bridgewater's not healthy.
Yeah. Agreed.
He controls the game, but go ahead.
Anyway, so my bold prediction, as much as I hate to say it, involving one of the 2 teams that you've already mentioned.
Oh my
God. Kyle. As much as I hate to say it, man.
No, you don't.
He's so lucky.
As much as I hate to say it, my bold prediction for the season for Kyle is that he is going to lose every game the rest of the season.
Thank you, Tom. You're not stupid.
I don't know what it is, but I just have a feeling.
I predicted Chris to win, right? All right.
I don't know. I have to pick somebody, and I feel like I can get away with picking Kyle because we'll still be friends after I say it. but I think Kyle's going to lose every game the rest of the year. I don't know what it is.
I love it.
But I feel like he got off to such a hot start, and now with Brett Hundley taking the reins in Green Bay, and that brings down Devontae Adams a little bit, and then
Running back situation.
the running back situation is a little grim, but having Gurley is going to be okay. Jason Witten, not getting it done. I don't know. I just don't see it. But take it with a grain of salt. I think you very well watch him win this week, and then another bold prediction of mine doesn't come
Yeah,
true.
Green's going to go for 40, and then the next week Thielen's going to go for 40, and he's going to play people like Dylan or me this last week getting like 40 points. So I love that prediction.
I'm going bold. I love you, Kyle, but I have to do something.
I like that.
I like it.
Dylan agreed with me to just put that on the record.
That's hilarious.
I like it. I can see it happening. I would like to see Chad lose out more.
He's gonna lose all the way till week 13. He's gonna beat me to get in the playoffs.
Yep.
I'm gonna cry like a little girl.
He's going to get into the playoffs at 6 and 7.
Yeah.
That means he's going to win.
No, that's not that. We take that off the record.
Nope, we can't. It's already it's recorded. I mean, we could restart the segment.
Good.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Dylan sucks.
All right, guys, welcome to this episode. Dylan can't join us this week.
Unfortunately, he was in a car crash. And,
Yeah, I
he
texted him and asked him about the podcast, and he said, "Sorry, not going to make it."
And then that's when I got in the car crash.
Yeah.
Text and drive, bro.
Thanks, man. All right. Off the script question. See, if the season ends today, who would be your MVP? Go.
Ooh.
Fantasy MVP or NFL MVP?
NFL. I'll lead. Deshaun Watson.
Are we?
Offensively, off the top of my head, I'll think about more, but Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt?
Yeah, he's looked amazing so far. What is that? 5 out of 6 weeks he's had over 100 yards.
6 out of 6.
Is it?
Yeah, he's one of 2 or 3 guys that have done that.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
I think the leading rushers right now are Kareem Hunt, Le'Veon Bell, and Fournette.
Yeah. Oh, you just had to throw that in there because you have 2 of those, right?
All right. Saw it on Instagram earlier, so I thought I'd throw it out there.
This show is all about you, I swear.
There's just been so many injuries in the top players. It's hard to really give it to anybody else that I can think of. And
Yeah.
Julio's not been doing much. Zeke's just now getting going. It has to be between Kareem Hunt and Todd Gurley. For their team, most valuable, I don't know. It's probably Todd Gurley, actually.
I'd have to say Deshaun Watson.
Wow.
What? He's been getting garbage time. They called a timeout 4 seconds ago to get him some points. Get out of here.
Wow.
He leads,
MVP.
he leads the league in passing touchdowns right now, man.
Whatever.
Considering week 1, he only played half the game.
I'm in shock. I can't believe that. Anyway, I'm going to have to make a logical decision, and I'm going to say Alex Smith.
He was in my head.
Yeah, he was my second choice.
Yeah,
He looks like a different man.
He hasn't thrown an interception on the season.
I know. I saw that stat earlier. It's crazy. He's like, 11-0
Yeah.
or something. It's nuts. He's putting up double David Garrard numbers.
Ultimate game manager.
Yeah, as I was thinking, Aaron Rodgers and Smith popped in my head, but Rodgers is hurt. So
Yeah. Well, it's traditionally it usually goes to the team that has the best season, and it usually goes to the quarterback of that team. So, I mean, I have to default to Alex Smith. But
Remember my bold prediction week 1? You guys remember?
Alex Smith would be the MVP.
Yep.
Was that before the game actually started?
No, that was after.
Oh, so it was like our week 1 review show.
Yeah, week 1 review. Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like it's going strong right now.
Yeah, it's eerie. You might be a time
I
traveler.
like to see his game next week against Denver. If he can get it done against Denver, even if he's not putting up fancy points, if he just controls the game and stuff, then 100% Alex Smith should be MVP so far.
Yep. We'll get a glimpse of him tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, here in a couple hours. Or well,
On CBS.
that's right. Tune in
Trademark.
live on Amazon Prime. Well,
Get money.
get money.
Well, anything else?
I don't think so. It's another great episode, a sloppy one, a sick one, as both of us are recovering.
Yep.
I said it last week, but maybe this week we can give our predictions for the playoff picture again. Revisit that.
Oh, yeah, for the fantasy.
Yeah. Throw that in instead of my statement, possibly.
Yeah, we can't do that. Oh, yeah, Josh Durham couldn't join us. Obviously, you haven't heard his voice this episode, and we missed last week.
guys, I'm just now coming in the door.
Oh, hey, Josh, welcome.
All right, bro. We're done. It's a wrap.
But, yeah, we missed the week because I was sick. Now Dylan's sick. Josh couldn't make it. But we'll be back on track eventually. Hopefully with a new bag of tricks here soon.
Yep.
I'm going to try to get off of my back. Anybody?
I got
Godsmack?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I don't know.
Hit that like button. Subscribe for more content. Comment down below. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Maybe. Brian, last
Probably will. Not.
R.I.P. Kyle season.
Shut up, Brian.
I didn't mean it, Kyle, but I kind of do. I hope it doesn't happen. Wink.